Yes, sir. It's time to start today's webinar. So, good afternoon, everybody, and a warm welcome to all attendees of today's webinar on credit worthiness, the key to success for MSMEs. Our esteemed speakers here for today are Dr. H.P. Kumar, former CMD NSIC and Director, External Affairs Power to SME Private Limited. Dr. Kumar is, he's spearheading the organization's objective of building alliance network in the industry. He comes with a deep knowledge of the SME sector and has extensive experience in dealing with promotion, development, and financing of MSMEs, exports, and other small and large projects. Mr. Sudama Ram is also a speaker here today. He is Director, Resurgent India Limited. He is from the National Institute of Technology, Jamshedpur, and has an MBA in Finance from the Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi University. He has a diverse experience of 35 years in the areas of project management, project finance, corporate finance, wholesale banking, retail banking, leasing, investment banking, stressed asset management, corporate advisory, and other financial services. Mr. Bhushan Parekh has also joined us today for today's webinar. He is Director SME CRISIL. In this role, he leads analytics for SME verticals such as institutional, retail, real estate, and educational sector. In addition, he leads a transformation initiative at CRISIL, overseeing key strategic and digital transformation projects for CRISIL. He has been with CRISIL for close to 14 years. I now invite Jayant for you to take our participants through the Vadhvani Advantage program.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for the introduction and welcome to Mr. H.P. Kumar as well as the other guests out here. So the Vadhvani Advantage program is basically conceptualized to help SMEs. Basically, it was conceptualized to help SMEs through the COVID situation. But now we are post that. So we are still modifying the program right now to help them. Can you go on to the next slide? Yeah, so the basic structure of the program is that we have an ecosystem of coaches, consultants, investors, and corporates. All of these come together to help the SMEs. The coaches help them through consulting, the consultants help them through advisors, investor, if they need some money, we can help them with investing, as well as we help with market linkages and connects. Many of them are looking at lead generation or other services. From both from the customer and vendor perspective, we can help them out. So this is a snapshot of how we help them out. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is again the same thing, be it any help that SME might require on the customer front, product front, diversification strategy or value chain analysis, geographic expansion channels, whatever help they might need in any area of a business, be it finance, sales or whatever, we have the capability of helping them out. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so this was created during the COVID times. It was that we had three programs. One was to manage the crisis, one was to help SMEs recover from the crisis, and one was to help them grow. If you can see from October 2020 onwards, we were looking at growth. So now the first two things are mostly redundant. We're looking at the growth aspects for SMEs right now. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, this is just a snapshot of what we're trying to aim out here. We aim to help around 10,000 SMEs in India and possibly save or create more than 1 lakh jobs. It's in India as well as LATAM, it's happening. Of course, Power to SME is one of our partners. We have many other partners like that. And it's a high-touch engagement model in which one-to-one consulting services are provided to SMEs, mostly on a pro bono basis, but sometimes on a paid basis also, depending on the requirement. Yeah, thank you so much. Back to you.
So I would like to give a short introduction to Power to SME. Established in 2012 to solve the procurement woes of manufacturing SMEs, Power to SMEs was founded by R. Narayan, who realized that large enterprises avail better cost benefits of bulk purchases as opposed to small enterprises. He commissioned a study on the same by IIM Lucknow, and the conclusion was that MSMEs end up paying hefty prices for purchasing raw material due to two reasons: inadequacy of demand and poor negotiating power. This led to drainage of finances and substandard production by MSMEs due to mediocre raw material. To resolve that issue and empower manufacturing MSMEs, R. Narayan set up Power to SMEs to tackle the superior quality, to tackle two issues: superior quality raw material at improvised prices. This is possible through demand aggregation of multiple SMEs. This collective demand lends it the same leverage of economies of scale that is readily available to large enterprises, thus extending the cash benefit for SMEs. And secondly, this deletes all intermediaries involved in the process, thus getting rid of any extra cost. In short, through power to SME, SMEs get more and better for less. After the launch of Power to SME, it was realized that SMEs face serious lack of access to finance and lack credit worthiness, which basically means that financial institutes hesitate in lending to SMEs. To resolve that, we established FinanceMe, a portal where we connect SMEs with our partner financial institutes so they can avail speedy credit at improvised rates. To cater to the maintenance, repair, and operations products for SMEs like safety hats, gloves, and jackets, we launched India's largest MRO e-marketplace, SME Shops. And last year, we launched our own NBFC, BizFunds, which provides easy and innovative credit solutions for SMEs. Some of our key product categories are steel, paints, yarns, polymers, and chemicals. These are some of the major industries we're serving across. During the time of COVID, in response to the market demand, we came out with a range of COVID-related items that you can order for your enterprise from SME Shops. Some of our investors are the best names in the market: Inventus, Kalari, Axel Partners, Mr. Nandan Nilekani, who's also the strategic advisor for the company, and the International Finance Corporation. Some of the awards that we've won in our last 8 years. And this is where you can find us on the internet and connect with us. And now I'd like to move on to today's webinar. So over to you, Dr. Kumar.
Thank you, Sudhamini. Thanks a lot. In fact, we have a very interesting subject to discuss today, credit worthiness, how it is, a key to success of the MSMEs. And I would say why MSMEs alone, any business enterprise or even an individual, credit plays a very important role in anybody's life, whether any entity's life, whether it is individual, business, small, medium, large, any entity. Because credit is one which is, which expands your business, which scales up which helps in scaling up your business. And a lot of activities, other activities also depend on the credit. For example, before I come on the credit worthiness measures which are, initiated and taken, checked by the banks and credit providers, even within an enterprise also, within a business enterprise, whether small or big, credit, always plays a role. If you are purchasing materials on credit, there also credit worthiness comes into being. If you are selling materials, making sales to your buyers, then buyers' credit worthiness becomes important. So if you are dealing with personal loans, family loans, friends loans within the friends, there also, in fact, the credit worthiness of that loanee or the borrower is always at the back of your mind, even if you're not, looking at it through papers and analyzing it through balance sheets. Now, when we talk of credit worthiness of micro, small, and medium enterprises, what is the parameter? What are the parameters which are looked at, and how credit worthiness is established? How is it checked that whether you are credit worthy or not? And if at all you are credit worthy, then how much credit worthy? So all these issues are become very important for the credit provider and lender, which by and large we will focus on the banks and financial institutions, including NBFCs and other, major institutions working to provide credit to the MSMEs, dealing with MSMEs. So before we come on the credit worthiness, to measure the credit worthiness of the borrowers, that is MSMEs, should we look at the expectations of the lenders as to against what expectations, what measures they would like to evaluate the creditworthiness of the borrower. In this case, of course, MSMEs. So what are their principles and expectations? As a student of finance, what we have been learning and we have been reading and practicing is that credit provider will look at major three things. And those three things are, first thing is safety of the money. Whether the borrower is capable enough or has enough confidence, enough trust that the money being lent by the lender will remain safe and will be returned. So that is the first principle with which the credit worthiness gets examined and evaluated. Now, this could involve, topping up the credit worthiness of the borrowers by way of putting security requirements, that is collateral security requirements, or primary security requirements, or the guarantees of third parties. So that is basically, I would say, topping up and improving the credit worthiness of the borrower. But then safety is the first principle that the lender or the bankers would look at. The second, of course, which is very important principle against which this credit worthiness gets evaluated, is the liquidity. Whether the lender or the creditor or the banker or the financer would be able to get the money back in whatever time frame or in whatever period that the lender has planned for. If the lender is lending for 1 year, short term up to 1 year, naturally they would like the money to be returned within 1 year. If they are lending it for longer period, they would plan accordingly and see whether the borrower is worthy of getting this credit for a certain period or the period for which the lender is has agreed to advance. So that liquidity becomes very important. And the third, of course, is the income, whether the borrower will be able to meet the return on the borrowing, that is the interest or the whatever charges are levied by the lender. So income becomes another factor for the lender. So all these three parameters lead to analysis of various factors of the borrower. These three principles, in fact, force the lender or lead him to evaluating the balance sheets for the financial position, whether the MSMEs or the borrower will be able to generate enough resources to repay not only the interest part, but even the principal also and the installments, whether the business is virtually or actually sustainable and it is growing, what is the expectations of the future with regard to the success of the business. It is, all these factors from the financial statement, what has been the track record of growth, what is the future expectations of growth. All these factors can be checked from the balance sheets, analysis of the annual accounts or the balance sheets or the returns. So, and then apart from this, there are certain parameters with regard to the individual's background, the promoter's background with regard to their personal background, their credit history, their track record in meeting their commitments, the liabilities that they have incurred in past. So that, in addition to the financial position and financial analysis, these personal parameters and personal background checks also become part of this. And in addition to that, of course, the physical securities, what is the securities being offered to improve the credit worthiness of this borrower. Now, this is from the point of view of relationship between the borrower and the lender with regard to evaluating the credit worthiness directly by the lender. Now, to help this analysis and to create a shortcut, or maybe to lessen the burden of the lender and the financer, there are agencies, organizations which have come up. Now, credit rating is one such organization. And I remember when we wanted to bring credit rating into the MSME sphere, it used to be unheard of by the MSMEs. And the government was planning at that time, I'm talking of early 2000, 2001, 2, when the government was planning to introduce some kind of a scoring model across the country for Indian MSMEs, so that these scoring model, because the bank finance has always been a issue with the MSME sector, and they have been complaining always to the government that they are not getting adequate attention from the banking system with regard to availability of credit. So the government thought that maybe by virtue of standardizing the evaluation process, introducing the scoring model, rating was of course not being talked about that time. And they could bring in some kind of a standard evaluation practices so that the banks can also get the ease of evaluating and establishing the credit worthiness of the borrowers. And the flow of credit could improve by this process. I attended myself, in fact, one meeting in early 2002 or 2003 with all the chiefs of the banks in the government, and we discussed about the possibilities of introducing a scoring model. Then, of course, the time came when we decided, with the help of the Indian Banks Association and Reserve Bank of India and the ministry, and NSIC was pioneer when I was heading that organization, that we should bring in a uniformly applicable a credit rating model which can be introduced across the country with all the banks and for all the MSMEs, and easily understandable by all, with uniform rating signs, so that it is understood similarly by all, which was of course quite difficult. But then who will bear the cost? The government said we will bear the cost to the extent of 75%. And that is how we formulated the scheme. I was chairing that committee, and then Indian Banks Association, and I remember Mr. Leeladhar, chairman of Union Bank of India, was part of that. And then the Reserve Bank of India approved that scheme, government approved, and we came out with that NSIC performance and credit rating. That scheme did wonders. In fact, the credit rating fee, which used to be in lakhs earlier for any rating, because rating was very limited, which used to be in lakhs, came down so heavily, it came down to almost 30,000-40,000 rupees. And even in that 30,000-40,000 also, the government was subsidizing to the extent of 75% through NSIC. And the MSME, the applicant who is getting the credit, who is credit rating, had to pay only 10,000, 8,000, 9,000, 12,000, depending upon the size of the firm. So with 10,000 rupees, a reasonably good MSME would get the rating from an internationally reputed, prime rating agencies working in the country. And that is how, in fact, greatly spread the culture of rating in the country across the MSME sector. And we know that 90%, 99% companies operating in India are MSMEs. And that is how the rating culture also spread. So for the time being, I understand from the government that the scheme is on hold, and they are going to reconsider and provide some kind of an innovative model of rating, and maybe they introduce the subsidy scheme and assistance scheme again. But meanwhile, the MSMEs across the country need this kind of independent evaluation, and particularly the credit rating. I understand the credit rating also has been divided now between the two. One is, of course, the credit grading, and then the credit rating based on the SEBI directives. I would, we will discuss about this, of course, during the course of our deliberations. Let me now bring in our experts. In fact, Mr. Bhushan Parikh, who is the director in CRISIL, and so Damini has already introduced him, but let me briefly say that he is vastly experienced in the MSME space, more than 14 years experience with CRISIL. And of course, when he is working with the rating product, naturally, I can't say that he is expert only in this sector and that sector. The rating companies have to look at all the sectors across the country. So I'm sure with 14 years experience, he would have looked at almost every sector across the spectrum. So I would like to invite him to speak first, Mr. Bhushan. In fact, I would say you heard the context. Specifically, of course, we know CRISIL is doing a great job. It's a prime, very, one of the apex rating agencies internationally acclaimed. We would like to know as to how MSMEs are benefiting from the credit rating and credit grading that you have recently introduced. And also let us know, please, that whether credit grading is also important and being accepted by the banks, and they are giving due weightage to the credit grading to the MSMEs. Over to you, Mr. Parekh.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar, for a great segue into my section. Sadamini, would you have my presentation? I had a small presentation to make.
Yes, sir. Just putting it out.
Sure. So as Dr. Kumar rightly said, what is growth for an MSME mean? It means expanding to new markets. It means expansion in terms of production or services being offered. It means expansion in terms of employees, right? And at the crux of it, for MSME to do that, it needs capital, right? And it needs credit, essentially, right? Now, that is where rating agencies like CRISIL come into play, and we provide transparency and that credibility that an MSME needs when they access the formal channels of funding, saying to ask for that additional credit that they need for the growth. So that's how I link the growth prospects for MSME and how credit ratings can open the doors for growth of MSMEs in India. Right? So before I deep dive into how credit ratings are done and our framework for doing that, I'll maybe spend some time on introducing CRISIL as an organization. So if you can just move on to the next slide. Yeah. So CRISIL is actually India's leading provider of ratings, data and research and analytics. We started somewhere in 1987 as one of the India's leading and foremost provider of rating services. And over the last couple of years, we have diversified our offerings to not only ratings, but research, analytics, and not only providing those offerings in India, but we have massively expanded our offerings across the globe as well. Okay. So can we just go to the next slide? Yeah. So as you can see today, we have our offerings in rating space, research, global research and analytics space, risk solutions, and infrastructure advisory. And we work with all the foremost clients in the BFSI space, on the policy and regulatory side, and on the corporate side. And our presence is now across the globe in major continents of the world. Moving on. So what really underpins each of these offerings, and that is unparalleled analytics. If you look at our history, we've been probably one of the foremost provider and innovator in each of the offerings that we provide, including MSME ratings. So we've been, at least in the rating side, we have provided more than 25,000 ratings to mid and large corporates, as well as financial institutions, and close to 150,000 SME ratings. We started this division of SME ratings somewhere in 2005, and we were the first rating agency to do that. And over the years, we've really looked at MSMEs across sectors and across regions in the country. So we bring on the table a wide experience of the last 15 years in the MSME space. We are India's largest independent research house. So what it essentially means is that when we are looking at an MSME, we are looking at essentially our expertise on the sector. We are looking at an expertise of the industries and the economy. So it's very much a top-down and a bottom-up approach that we bring to the table. We are the world's largest and top-ranked provider of high-end research and analytics services. So that's where we not only bring the Indian experience, but we look at this space across the globe. We look at what the clients need across the globe. And in terms of product innovation, we really see what do we need to do at a global level, and essentially what do we need to do at a local level as well. And as I mentioned, we are, a risk solutions provider as well as leading infrastructure advisor to governments and multilaterals. So as Mr. Kumar was also saying, we often are engaged with multilateral organizations or government bodies or government to help them on certain programs that they want to roll out across different industries and sectors, so to say. Moving on. So talking about primarily the SME space, as I mentioned, so we've been the foremost provider of SME ratings since the last more than a decade, with a rich experience of having looked at 1 lakh, close to 1,40,000 SMEs. Over the years, we have really refined our methodology of how do we analyze an MSME. And that is where a lot of lenders and corporates alike place that value when a rating is provided by CRISIL. Earlier, it was this product was called SME rating, but now we have over the last 2.5 years, we've just made certain changes to the connotation. We are now calling it a grading, okay? But the insights and the experience that we have remains the same. In terms of the industries, we do have our proprietary models, and given the vast amount of data that we have, we really have a lot of our own IP that we use for the benefit of MSMEs and rating them. We also have a look at innovation and look at new ways of delivering these products to the MSMEs. So that's when we have innovated and created a digital offering in the MSME grading space. And that's when we also constantly look at new ways data and alternate data that can help MSMEs really get a better perspective on themselves and on a relative basis versus their own peers in the space. So coming back to the topic, why is credit important? Credit is extremely important. As I mentioned, it is a lifeline for MSME to grow. And that is where we have really seen the ratings provide a lot more value. Now, if you look at what stops an MSME from getting access to credit, we can move on to the next two slides actually. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. So why do MSMEs do not get access to funding? One, there might be unreliable data or there might be lack of data, and that is because the MSMEs might not be as organized as some of their larger players in the industry. They might not have the relevant financial systems and MISs, so to say, that they can produce to the lenders that can give them that additional comfort, right? There could be lack of asymmetry. So when I say lack of asymmetry, an MSME might be in a very remote location and might be exposed to only a lender who might be present in that particular geography or region, right? And other lenders or other financial organizations might not have access to these MSMEs. And that's where there could be some asymmetry, and the entire dependence of the MSME for getting credit relies on only just one or two institutions that they have access to, right? So there could be lack of access and lack of asymmetry. And at the same time, it could be just lack of awareness, so to say, options available on the credit space. Now, this is exactly where we have seen that because of these barriers, the MSMEs rely a lot on their promoter funding, and they rely on informal channels of financing. So it could be friends, relatives, people who I may know, and I may just borrow from them some funds. But the challenge is that, that always comes with a very higher cost of funding. So these are not the best or the optimal funding sources. And that is where getting a rating actually opens a lot of avenues for MSMEs, and they can independently use these reports that we provide, our opinions, to actually get a lot more awareness about themselves from a number of lenders. And it also helps them benchmark themselves vis-a-vis other players. And that's how the unique value proposition comes onto the table. So we can just move on to the next two slides. I've already covered this. we can actually deep dive into the grading framework. Yes, that's right. We can go on to the next slide. Yeah. So what essentially the SME grading definition means? So it means that evaluation of the credit worthiness of the SME in relation to the other SMEs based on the assessment of three broad parameters: business, management, industry, and financials. While this is similar to the credit assessment framework for large corporates, given the nuances of an MSME and the lack of organization, so to say, as compared to the larger players, it does need a very different way of analyzing the MSMEs. And that's why we have created a different scale altogether, which is the SME 1 to SME 8. SME 1 means the highest credit worthiness, which is basically the best credit worthiness, and SME 8 means the poormost credit worthiness. Now, the key aspects of CRISIL SME grading are that it's an evaluation of the credit worthiness of SME borrowers. The way we arrive at this opinion on the SME is through a thorough due diligence process of the company, through various plant visits, management interactions, interactions with the customers of the MSMEs or the suppliers of the MSMEs, and even the bankers. So it's essentially a 360-degree feedback that we incorporate when we are grading an MSME. And on top of that sits our proprietary models and analytics that we built over the last few years. Yeah, moving on. So, as I mentioned, there are four parameters. One is the management risk. Now, what do we mean by management risk? It means basically the track record of the promoter who has been running this business. How many years has the promoter been in the business? What is their own educational background? What is their ability to run the business in good times and bad times? And how have they showcased that? So that is what essentially comprises of management risk. The other part is business and industry risk. So what is the industry scenario right now? What is the industry outlook for the next few years? And how is the MSME positioned to take benefit out of that outlook of the industry? When I say the business, it is essentially the track record of the business, the competitive advantage of the business, and the credit history and repayment track record of the promoter as well as the entity, and how have they performed over the last few years, and how strong is their product offering, the quality of these services, their relationships with the customers, and are they exposed to any particular risks or shocks in the system. That is what essentially comes into the business and industry risk. Financial risk is essentially the numbers. So profitability, how much is the debt levels, what is the working capital requirement, and how optimally are the capital is the capital deployed in the business, either for fixed assets or for working capital, and what is the financial flexibility. So Mr. Kumar also touched upon this point on liquidity. So what is the liquidity position? How easily can the MSME convert their assets into cash, essentially for repaying either their interest or the principal? Yeah, moving on. So these elements combined form, come to a credit grading, so to say, and the outcome is, as I said, on a scale of 1 to 8. So what are the benefits for SMEs? So one, definitely, and the most important point is it gets access to credit, and gets access to credit at the right pricing, which is of great importance to MSMEs. It helps the bankers or the lenders really price the risk, of their lending that they are making, and at the same time, it really provides additional credibility to the MSME. And that's when we have seen a lot of bankers, if the MSMEs already have a grading from a reputed organization, the entire loan processing time reduces, because now they have something to really rely upon, and that they can also use in their own assessment. Also, there are a lot of interest rate benefits. We do have a lot of MOUs with banks. So if you do take gradings from us, the banks also provide some discounts on the interest rate that they charge, right? And at the same time, better credit terms like lower collateral requirements. So you need not produce a lot of collateral, at least on the lower collateral cases also. We've seen bankers provided adequate lending credit to them. At the same time, I will not restrict the benefits only to the financial assistance. It is actually going beyond that, right? So a lot of MSMEs also use our report, which are fairly detailed and, as I mentioned, covers business management aspects as well, to actually get new business in the market as well. So again, our reports touch upon every aspect of the MSME, and when the MSMEs are pitching for maybe a government contract, or when they're pitching for a new business from a corporate, they can actually produce our reports. And that brings in a lot more trust from their business partners, right? Essentially, if you are buying from a raw material supplier, if you're buying from a corporate, essentially you might be doing that on credit basis only, right? So that is again where our reports help the corporates as well, and your raw material suppliers as well, to provide adequate credit terms to you, right? And at the same time, it helps you benchmark. So it's a very good tool of self-evaluation. It really highlights your strengths, and it highlights even the areas where you can focus on and improve upon your business performance. And that is when, again, it can be looked at as a mirror for MSMEs. It gives you a good perspective on areas where you need to focus on, which can help your overall credit worthiness and also the business performance over the years to come. Moving on. So now, you know, all I've said, it's good to hear, right? But the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as they say, right? So we also, given that we've been in this space and have been providing ratings or gradings over the last few years, we did an interesting study. How have the MSMEs benefited? The MSMEs who have been with us for a couple of years, have been constantly taking gradings from us. We looked at those entities and said, what are the benefits that they have derived from doing an assessment from us? So first and foremost, we saw that there was an enhanced operational performance. So 44% of the MSMEs that we have graded, they actually were able to improve upon their performance on the operational side and on the business side. How did they do that? Because we were able to highlight and benchmark them against other MSMEs in this space. Okay, so that's how they understood. Oh, okay, this is where I need to focus on. This is where I'm a little weak upon if I compare to other MSMEs in the same space, in the same industry, in the same region. And then they started looking at that and they started strengthening their business, and that's how they were able to improve their scores. The second point is it helped them sustain improvements in credit worthiness. So we saw the same MSME over the years, they were able to kind of upgrade their own gradings because of this operational improvement and overall improvements in their financials as well. Okay, and we saw healthy grading upgrade to downgrade ratio of 1.88 times, which means that the number of MSMEs that we upgraded were far higher than, almost double than those that we downgraded. Okay. The second was increased access to formal credits over hypothesis that yes, MSMEs get access to credit at the right terms or at the right pricing actually stands true. So more than 60% of graded MSMEs received additional bank finance post the grading exercise. So had they not done the grading, and vis-a-vis when they went with the grading to the banker, the chances of getting the funding, the chances of getting an additional funding actually went up. Okay. And the last and foremost was the interest rate savings. So 1 in every 2 rated MSMEs actually reduced their cost of funding by taking a rating from us and an opinion from us. So that's how I put it out, as all the benefits that the grading provides. And this is how I strongly believe that getting access to the credit at the right terms can really provide that fillip to the MSME and provide a lot more growth avenues for their businesses and for them to achieve the scale that they need on the national scale or also on the global scale in terms of their exports. Yeah, so that would be from my side.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Parikh. I think it was a very good, very exhaustive presentation. I think covering most of the issues that we were debating earlier, and which would be helpful for the MSMEs, in fact, to understand as to how MSME grading or credit grading or credit rating is helpful. I was quite happy to know that it is not only the credit availability, which is the major benefit, of course, for credit grading, but also in terms of the performance. That if you are filing a tender to the government, or if you are dealing with a supplier of your raw materials, or if you are dealing with a importer in some foreign country, so this grading report, of course, by the CRISIL, would be very helpful, because they would look at these performance of the company by an independent organization, and would surely be favorably disposed of to the needs or the relationship that is going to develop. And third, of course, with regard to your own benefits, because you come to know at least what are the weaknesses and problems or the strengths that you have. So that also is very useful, in fact. I think some people would be interested only to do that.
Yeah.
They don't know, in fact, they want somebody outsider to do the audit and tell them as to what is right and what is wrong with their organization and entity, even if they don't want credit. So I think all three benefits, stand very firmly on their own independently also. And put together, combined, of course, all of them, it is a great advantage to the users, those who are beneficiaries. So we will keep talking about this, the other things also. Let me bring in our other guest panelist, Mr. Sudama Ram, who is again a veteran in this financial field and is very experienced, close to 35 years in project management and project finance, banking, leasing. He has been closely associated with, IFCI as at a senior level for more than 15 years, and is quite, highly educated, and would be very happy to, in fact, listen to him as to what are the crucial factors for improving your credit worthiness. I mean, everybody has some kind of credit worthiness, right, wrong, average, better, inferior, or so good. But how to improve upon that, particularly for business enterprises? So I would like to bring in Mr. Ram. Over to you, Mr. Sudam Ram. You are mute. You are on mute. If you can open it up. Mr. Ram, can you please unmute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. It was really very insightful presentation by Bhushan with the credit rating and all. I would like to share my personal experience, what I have seen during my career in banking, and particularly with respect to financing of MSMEs, the credit worthiness. There are, since beginning, ever since this MSME or earlier SSI, all the nomenclatures that were in vogue, there has been institutional framework for financing or providing credit to the MSME segment. But still, MSME entrepreneurs have not been really, they have not been able to get credit easily from the lenders. So we should find out why, despite having all the institutional framework, like there have been state finance corporations which were established way back in 1950 for financing of these MSMEs only, mainly term loans for project finance and all, and then subsequently working capital in terms of small trades. Yet things could not work. Then subsequently SIDBI was promoted, Small Industries Development Bank of India, with a sole objective of promoting credit flow to the MSME segment. Subsequently, again the question was whether those MSME borrowers had enough capability in terms of management quality, in terms of understanding of the systems, in terms of compliances, so that they become eligible to borrow. So for that, even subsequently, there was a specific exclusive rating agency also promoted for them, which was called SME Rating Agency, SMERA. Now it has become a fully commercial organization. Okay. So despite having all these things, still these MSME borrowers find it very difficult to get funds from the banks, even public sector banks. Reason what I could understand that they basically, most majority, I won't say all, but majority of the MSME entrepreneurs, they lack financial literacy, means how to manage their accounts properly, so that ultimately the rating agency also will see the balance sheet, will see their all the accounts mainly, to give a proper rating. This apart from management quality and all those things. So this literacy needs, as my understanding of what I feel, that financial literacy is the most important aspect, which needs to be realized by the MSME entrepreneurs, that if they understand proper accounting, if they do proper accounting of their books, their balance sheet also will be more transparent and easy to understand even by the bankers. Before, even if they don't go to rating agencies and directly go to bankers, at least bankers will be able to appreciate and see where do they stand, how much funding they need, whether they are capable of returning that money, where they are going to utilize those funds for the purpose that they are giving. So most crucial aspect in the credit worthiness, what I understood during my career, is that they should be financially literate. Now, for that, still there have been many institutional mechanisms, institutions, promoted by government, both central government as well as state government, to educate and make them aware of various things, various aspects of management and all these things. Yet, even now, I feel that there is a need for an institution which focuses mainly on making the MSME entrepreneurs aware what are the compliance requirements, how they should do it, and maybe government also can subsidize, like rating was subsidized by the government, so that they spend some time in sending their management executives for training, for compliances, for proper accounting and all those things. Once those things are in place, rating also will improve. Okay, so not only rating, yet there are many MSME borrowers who are not even aware of the fact that there is a rating agency and they can get subsidy on the rating that if they approach a rating agency. Many MSME borrowers are not aware. So what we need to make them more credit worthy is that educate them for proper compliance, maybe at a subsidized level, or like every state has an industrial development corporation. In that, there is a district industry center. There they can provide some kind of training to the MSME segment. So once they are aware, they automatically start complying. And now if they go to banks, banks also will be forthcoming to help them, because their books, etc., their compliances will be in place. So the most crucial factor that we are discussing today, the credit worthiness of MSME. What I feel, everything is in place. Like there is an institutional mechanism to finance them. There are rating agencies, banks are there. Even banks also, they look for good quality MSME borrowers, yet they are not able to get. Very few. So, in my views, there should be an institutional mechanism which provides them guidance or maybe training to have proper compliances so far as their businesses are concerned in specific business segment, and of course accounting. Most of the MSMEs, their audit, etc., you might have seen, it gets delayed indefinitely. They do not know how to get extension, how to complete their books in time, because they have to depend on outside, professional chartered account CA firms. They hardly any MSME has its own CA on its own. So we should think of having some kind of like rating agencies help them in getting rated. Accounting firms also should be brought into, so that they keep them guiding from time to time. Like now there is a concept of virtual CFO. Large corporates can, if they don't want to hire a CFO on their rolls, they can have a virtual CFO on a internship basis. So likewise, these MSME segment also should be provided with that kind of, support. And once those things are in place, I feel their creditworthiness will certainly improve. So basically, in short, this is what I have to say. Any question anybody would like to ask, I'll be happy to answer. Uh,
Thank you, Mr. Ram. Thank you very much. I think it was a very practical insight that you gave. We shall be working on that. And you rightly said that the problems that the industry faces, MSME sector faces, is because of lack of knowledge. They don't, they are not even aware uh, about the availability of credit rating services and credit grading services. A lot of them suffer because of this, and they are not able to access the finance and the other benefits that the credit rating and credit grading provides. Now the issue is that while a lot of awareness campaigns are being done by the associations, by the NSIC, SIDBI, and organizations like Resurgent India, including other organizations also. But the point is that unless the MSMEs themselves realize that they are going to get the benefits out of these rating services and rating schemes, and it is popularized by the rating companies also, and the government also comes forward, the banks should come forward and publicize through public means that they would welcome the entity, MSME, or a borrower who has obtained the credit rating. So that will be great help. I do not know what is the background behind bifurcating the credit grading and credit rating services, because ultimately both have to be desirable by the financing banks. So has it affected in any way the quality of rating for the MSMEs? I would say those who get the credit grading. This question is to Mr. Parik.
Sure. No, so it's not, as I said, the framework remains the same that we earlier used to. It's a change in name that we've done for the product, right? There are two types of, I would say, ratings that exist today. One is the SME grading, which was erstwhile called the SME ratings product. The framework, the analytics, everything remains the same. The second one is the bank loan ratings, which is an instrument level rating. So when I say bank loan rating, it is a rating or an opinion that is taken from a credit rating agency on a particular instrument. So it could be a bank loan, right? For instance, only on that. Whereas the SME grading product that we are offering, it is far larger in scope and talks about the credit worthiness not pertaining to a particular instrument but on the entity overall. That is the larger difference that I would like to clarify.
Okay,
And
but
I think in terms of, as I said, the performance or even the acceptance, there is no difference in acceptance that we've seen post the grading product.
very good. I think that really helps a lot. This clarification helps a lot, in fact, because some kind of confusion was prevailing amongst the users as to whether they go for credit rating, which is desirable by the banks, like a bank loan rating requirement, and if they go for credit grading, whether it will be acceptable by the banks. But I think your clarification will be a great help. So
just
coming to
supplement,
yeah,
sorry, just to supplement Bhushan,
yeah,
actually, credit rating, as he says, it's rated against a particular instrument. So
okay,
that rating talks of this loan, whether it will be repaid in time, blah, blah, blah. But grading, what I feel, is the rating of the overall company. It's
yes,
present, future, maybe, So it gives a broader picture.
yes, yes, yes. So, Mr. Ram, there is another issue that if somebody wants to improve the credit worthiness,
Hmm.
say there is a small enterprise and they want to improve the credit worthiness, whatever credit worthiness they have, that is of course known to the bank. So what do you suggest, maybe 2-3 measures that they should take in their financial operations or their personal credentials which would improve the credit worthiness? Any based on your experience?
The very first thing they should do is to have a professional, maybe accountant or a financial advisor or finance person who knows how to account, all the transactions, blah, blah, blah. That is one. Second, their awareness, their education, they must, they mostly these MSMEs are either partnerships or proprietorships, So, particularly proprietorship, partnership businesses, they fail to draw a line between their, personal transactions and business transactions. So those awareness, have to be provided to them, that you have to maintain a clear-cut demarcation between the transactions. That is one. Second, even the small, even private limited companies also in MSME segment, their accounting, in my experience, their accounting has been not really, at the banks, if you look at their bank statement, the many transactions which are absolutely non-acceptable by any lender. So even working capital bankers also, they don't advise them that, okay, this transaction is not fair, or this transaction should not be done for this purpose, or with this loan, or this credit facility. If that awareness, is given to them, that, okay, you can do this, you cannot do that. So regular awareness program, maybe for a brief period, needs to be given to the MSME segment, so that they are aware. Once they are aware that, okay, I should comply with this, I should not do that, gradually this message will spread across the segment, and people will start. And once that compliance is in place, rating also will become much easier, and the bankers will be too happy to lend financial support to these. So, as to my view, education, financial literacy is of priority number one to the MSME segment in today's context.
Right. So, Mr. Parikh, you would have carried out, in fact, ratings and gradings of maybe how many thousands of enterprises, micro, small, medium, other, large, and I'm talking of the enterprise as a whole, not the financial instruments. So when you have carried out so many enterprises with long experience, what do you think are the major, drawbacks or the problems that you come across while evaluating and rating a enterprise? What are the lessons that can be learned by the enterprises from these weaknesses and problems that you notice?
Sure. I would put it this point as a summation of what probably Mr. Kumar you mentioned and what Mr. Sudama Ram has already mentioned, right? I think the primary issue in this segment is lack of awareness, right? So the promoter who's running the company probably is not aware of government schemes, is not aware of all the resources that the person has access to in the entire ecosystem, right? Is not aware about what are the different lending products that a banks can offer, and and the difference between them, right? And the last point is on the being organized as such, right? So what a point that Mr. Sudamaram already mentioned, how can you show an evidence, how can you show a proof that yes, you are running your business in the best possible way, in a proper way, in an ethical manner, and how can you provide that evidence that yes, you do have other assets or assets that you can fall back upon in case there is a in case there is a problem in the business, in case there are there's a downturn that you are facing, right? And not only for 1 year, right? Generally people look at a couple of years, right? So that's when I think the promoters, when they get access or understand, then they realize, oh, okay, I should have probably maintained my books of accounts over the last couple of years, because the more record I have, the better it is for the business and for the ratings, right? So I believe getting that understanding of these aspects early on helps, right? Even if not early on, okay, and at a point in time, I would still suggest that if you can go back and just ensure that you have or can create good evidence and can ensure that you can bring proper structure into your accounts, into your business, and can show that to the lender or to a rating agency, that also helps the MSMEs. So I would say getting that awareness and then acting upon it on a consistent basis also, year on year is important.
Yes, I think very, very well said. Mr. Ram, there is a last question that from my side I would like to ask. Then I will hand over to Sodamini for any other questions that the participants would have raised. What is the one thing that you would, treat as the most important as a financier or as a creditor or as a lender, which you will give the most importance in a borrower for checking the credit worthiness of the borrower? One point, the topmost.
If you want just one point, single point, the integrity of the promoter.
Yes.
If the promoter is serious enough, if he's, if he's, you can judge his integrity, even during downtime or even during the, bad phase of the business, he still will be able to honor his commitment. This is what I have experienced. If the promoter is firm and committed, he can, sell through during stormy years or stormy period also.
Yes, I think very well said. Very well said. Of course, it is not easy to measure the integrity,
Yeah,
to
correct.
evaluate the integrity, because
Yes.
this
But
will
we,
take
can,
long.
we have to give some benefit of, maybe some cushion to the promoter. Yes, you rightly said, judging person's integrity is really difficult. But his commitment, at least, of course, there are various tools, various means. If he is in business for some time, you can find out his social standing also, through various sources. So this
Yeah,
way we can, have a fairly good idea how committed or how principled that promoter is. If he is a principled person, he will be able to, honor his commitments to the lenders or to the other stakeholders.
no, I agree. In fact, there are ways to even check the, integrity also.
Yeah,
And in the olden times, it was only the integrity which used to be seen.
exactly.
महाजन क्या देखेगा, वो तो integrity ही देखेगा ना.
Bilkul, bilkul. Even
Whether-
today also, sir, a
Uh,
few of the cases I came across, despite company not doing well,
yes, yes.
the company had become company entity as a borrower had become NPA to other lenders, but because promoter was committed to me, or maybe I had better managed the promoter, he never allowed my account to become NPA. So that I understood that integrity or the mutual trust, I can say mutual trust.
No, I would say intentions, if the intentions are not bad, and
Yeah.
because of maybe unforeseen circumstances, maybe unavoidable reasons which are beyond the control of the management or the promoters, if something goes wrong and the account becomes difficult, his integrity is still impeccable, but the business may fail.
Correct.
So, that could be a different situation, but then, of course, the integrity, as you rightly say, is the foremost, which one has to look at as a financier. I agree fully with you, fully. So, I think, Sodamini, we have had a wonderful discussion with two of our very senior experts and very knowledgeable, very, into the field. So, I hope we have had a very good discussions and the participants would have really enjoyed and got a lot of knowledge. So I hand over to you now if you have any questions.
Sir, thank you so much. We've had a great session, and I particularly enjoyed that, interaction right at the end where, there was a lot of question answers happening between the three of you. And I think that was very informative and very extensive. And I think it's covered all our participants' doubts also for today's session. So I thank you all for being here today and for having such great discussion with us. We've really enjoyed. And I would like to thank our participants also who've taken out the time and been here today this evening. I would really urge all the participants to please fill up the feedback form that we've given in our chat box, as we would like to know more of what you would like to hear from us and issues around your interest. I've also given the link for the Sahayata program by the Vadhvani Foundation in case any of you would like to leverage. And I would also like to talk about the Spirit of Manufacturing Awards, which are a joint initiative of TIE, Delhi NCR, and Power to SME. And we're entering our 7th session, in January. And Dr. Kumar, you've been a part of the Spirit of Manufacturing Awards extensively. So these are basically to applaud the spirit of entrepreneurship in the manufacturing sector amongst SMEs. So if you're a manufacturing SME and if you build interesting and innovative products that you think are a game changer, then I would please urge you to sign up and register your business for the Spirit of Manufacturing Award so we can take cognizance of the great work being done by the manufacturing MSMEs of India. With that, I'd like to close today's webinar. Thank you so much, everybody, and good evening to all.
Thank you, Sodhamini. Thank you, Mr. Parik. Thank you, Mr. Ram. Very nice to have this interaction. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
It was pleasure talking to you and listening to you. It was very educative and incisive insight we got. So thank you, Bhushan, and thank you, Dr. Kumar, once again, and thank you, Sodhamini, for organizing a wonderful session. I look forward to many more such sessions.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, look forward to the sessions as well. Thank you.